Yeah, Sebastian, it's hard to keep count, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I think you've been world champion 10 times.
I don't know myself. If I want to know, I check on Wikipedia.
And I checked on Wikipedia too.
Okay, so you're right.
And yes, I might be. And 7 World Gliding Championships and 3 Grand Prix. And that's over not a huge period. I think your first World Championships that you won was in 2003.
Yes, that's
so
right.
you virtually won a World Championship every year.
Yeah, there were some occasions that I won 2 competitions in a year.
Yes.
I had some years with 3 medals, but never 3 golds. It's difficult to prepare for the competition if we are in a new place like here. I'm for the first time in Australia, especially in Benalla, because I was for 3 days in Queensland, but it's not enough. You need to be there in a competition year earlier to know the area. Without this, it's very difficult, and you have to learn during the race. You have to learn from other pilots, and if the competition is not long enough, it's very difficult.
My observation, Sebastian, is that you learn very quickly.
I hope so.
So maybe you'll find out very quickly what happens. But one thing I wonder about, given what it takes to become world champion and to year after year go to these competitions, it's enormous drive, enormous determination, and I just wonder how you maintain that. What really drives you?
I like to fly. I like competition itself, the concurring and with other pilots. And as I was successful, it gives me, it's satisfying. So that's probably why I've been flying for so long and so many competitions. And at some point, maybe 2 years ago, I decided to do something else, and that's why I organized a trip with the glider to Himalayas, to Nepal. This year I flew in Caucasus, in Russia, and it was quite challenging because of the bad weather, a lot of thunderstorms and overcast with clouds in September. And this is something that I would like to do more, but unfortunately I don't have enough money to do it, and I think my ultimate target would be to fly over Antarctica.
That is right, okay. You are finding new challenges, and I guess there's a lot of scope for different challenges.
Yeah, this is a lot of places that are fantastic for flying gliders, and nobody even tried to do this. For example, Central South Asia is the place that usually nobody flew. There are paragliders flying in Tian Shan Mountains in Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, but nobody saw a glider there. That's interesting also.
Yeah, yeah. And most people have read your book, Sky Full of Heat. In fact, today was a Sky Full of Heat, wasn't it?
And unfortunately, they're learning from this book, and they're more and more hard to beat.
You're giving your secrets away.
Yeah. I was stupid.
But the first half of the book was biographical, and in that it gave a very good story about how you learned to become competitive through sailing. And
I should write a few more pages.
Yes, yeah. So there's a lot of experience with that. And what did you transfer? Especially, there was quite a lot of hardship with that. I particularly remember about how cold you were, and how you kept on. You were so competitive. You put up with those very difficult conditions. How have you transferred that sort of determination? Because it can be quite hard. It's a harsh sport, competitive gliding, and there's lots of ups and downs. How do you deal with that?
Hardships. For example, here I tried to do it as hard as I could during the practice period. We came here without a trailer, without a crew. Now the situation has changed. We have everything. We are in a comfortable situation, but I think the goal is if you have a goal and a good motivation, you can overcome all of this. The hardships. it's never easy for us. You know, we are not the richest country in the world, and these gliders you see here, this is all Polish good gliders. There's very few other gliders that are flying for private persons or in the clubs. ISG 29 or Diana's, they are only two. We have also two Discuses, and that's all. No other glider is flying in Poland. So they are all going from the place to place, and this year, for example, I had a very difficult practice because I never had a chance to fly a competitive glider for myself in Poland. They were always occupied, they were flying in a competition. So preparing for a Grand Prix was especially difficult for me in South Africa because I didn't have a single flight with the JS1. So that's a problem.
So while you're an exceptional pilot, and in fact there's quite a few exceptional pilots on the Polish team.
Yes, and also on this field here, there's a lot of them.
That's true. But also the glider is important, and this is your baby. You've been flying this glider in quite a few.
This glider.
You hate this glider. And why is that?
This is a lady, you know. It has humors.
And why? Why do you hate it? What's wrong with it? You do very well in it.
Yeah, the performance is nice.
Yeah.
But it should be treated as a prototype, and this is the first one. This is the prototype exactly.
Right.
The XB001. The other one is a little bit better, but we have always problems with these gliders, and I hope the new factory, because another factory took over this project, and they will improve the glider, and we will have a normal glider. But as far as now, it's very difficult.
Yeah, and you're talking about more for handling, like taking off and landing, or you say it performs really well?
No, it flies well.
Yeah.
It flies well, but there are some problems that you may break it in every occasion.
Yes, yeah, it's quite fragile.
Yes, it's fragile. You may break a tail. You may just bump on a few stones and lose a tail wheel. Or break a water tank. There's a lot of problems with this.
And what do you think about how it runs with other gliders in the class? And you've had a chance maybe to see how it runs with the new.
Better.
What about the new?
Better.
Yes.
We flew together with Yonkers.
Yes.
And we are happy about it because we won. And this is a completely new glider. Everybody was a little bit afraid about it, but today we won it with them. And it seems that differences are, if there are some differences, they're very small.
Yes. Okay. So
we are happy about it.
A bit of a test-like comparison here. You have maybe some chance against it, and you'll have other opportunities to make those comparisons. And you mentioned that you haven't had a great chance to sample the soaring conditions in Australia. You've only had a few days when you came to Lake Keepit, and that was up towards Queensland, northern New South Wales.
No, there was no weather, absolutely.
No weather there. So this is really your first opportunity. In the little time you've been here, you've seen quite a range of conditions.
We took all days. We flew 6 days in a row. So tomorrow we probably don't fly because we are tired now, and we don't want to be tired on the beginning of the competitions, and that was. I hope it was enough. I hope it was enough. We had difficult weathers in the mountains. We didn't see good weather in the mountains, but I think we have seen the pattern.
And you can see it can be very hot in the high 30s, and it's quite dry, harsh heat here, and that could be over quite a period of time. You actually look quite fit. You
already?
Yes, you keep quite fit, do you?
I don't complain if it's hot.
Yeah.
And during these 2 weeks I tried to accommodate to this heat, and we've been running in the forests here and practicing to be in a good fit for the competition.
Okay, so you do regular exercise in preparation. Yeah.
There's a beautiful path in the forest here in the park.
Yeah.
And I met only one person in this forest. Guess who it was?
I can't.
It was a French pilot jogging.
Yes.
No other people were jogging because it was probably too hot.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So you'll get used to being in the heat.
We're trying to prepare it this way.
Thank you very much. I was wondering though.
Anything?
We've never seen a Diana 2 in Australia before.
You saw it. It was in 2015. The Diana was here into the number 3 was bought by Hanna Zajdova in I can't reckon which year it is, but I think it was 2007. I went to New Zealand with this one.
Yeah.
And she was here in Australia with the number 3. This is number 4. And but unfortunately they had problems with this glider, and they returned it back to Europe, and she didn't fly anymore. So, but I flew with this number 3 after some just few modifications, because the problem was with the protruding air brakes. When it was hot, they were protruding a little bit.
Okay.
And so they didn't. They were not able to adjust it properly. So they sent it back to factory and they sold it back. I was flying that model because other people bought it, and I've been flying that one in competitions, and now it's sold to the United States.
So I guess one of the concerns is because it's really a right on the edge design-wise, isn't it? And so
the secret of this glider is a perfect wing.
Yeah. Okay.
The fuselage is not optimal, but the wing is very good. If you have a look at this, there's no single straight line. It's
quite
twisted,
elliptical.
It's twisted. It's curved. There's no single straight line in this wing. If you look at the very modern gliders, the Yonkers airplanes, they try to be very close to it, but they are straight lines. And this is the model from 2005. So it's already 10 years old.
And is it? It's particularly good for climbing and feel, this glider. What's its strength?
It takes more water. The wing loading is slightly bigger than, for example, Ventus. I don't know about the Yonkers airplanes because
60.
They go to 60. We have 57. So it's more or less the same as the SG-29, and because the wing is small, the elongation is a little better, and the lift coefficient is very good. So you may fly slowly with this heavy loading. You may slow down to about 95 in thermal. Of course, we don't fly so slow because it sinks then. But if you want to take a very narrow thermal in the mountains, for example, it's a good glider because you have a bigger margin to stall. You fly, for example, 110 kilometers per hour, and the other gliders are on the edge of the stall, and this glider can still pull up.
Right.
So in this way it's better, but in the other way the handling of the stick is not so good.
Right.
So you have to be very well trained to fly it.
Yeah. Yes.
Of course, if you fly without water or you fly in good conditions cross country, it's for every pilot. But if you want to take the edge of this, you have to train a lot.
Yeah. You know, I think you're going to really enjoy this competition.
I hope so.
Well, you just love being in the air, and I think you're going to fly nearly every single day knowing this site. So you might have a couple of days for a rest day, but you'll have a lot of hours in the air with long days.
Yes. I hope the competition director will not forget that we are not here to make record flights, but we are here to compete, because it's very dangerous for pilots. When the pilots will be fatigued, they will be tired.
With the heat as well.
With the heat, with long tasks, then accidents will happen.
Yeah, it could be a little like Uvalde had the very long days.
Yeah, and then we had accident the last day.
Yeah.
After long tasks, we had always accidents. I hope they will not exaggerate, because it's good enough for 500, 600. We don't need to fly 1,000 or 700. It's. I hope they will not exaggerate, because the scoring, if we fly very long tasks, even if somebody makes a mistake, the scoring then there is very little differences. If we fly shorter tasks, scoring is differences in scoring are higher. And in the other hand, it's much more fun to fly fast, shorter tasks than to fly very, very long days and day after day. But I'm afraid this is possible here. And
today would be a good example of a good sort of task, because you all came back about 6:30.
Yeah, but the day started late.
Yes.
It didn't start early. At 2:30 we had decent lifts. Before it was not so good. And in the area of the task of the first turn point, we didn't have any thermals at all at that time. So we had to wait. So if the day was very long, it would not be probably a short task because we would have to fly in a bad weather on the beginning. Of course, the end of the day is much faster, but it's now closing, you see.
It is.
So
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. So, maybe it was possible to fly 100 kilometers more, but it would be a little bit too much.
Yeah, it seems like it was a well-set task today.
Well, yes, I'm very happy about it. It was a good task for a day.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Well, thanks again.
Thank you very much.
Really enjoyed speaking with you, and we'll catch up again later.
See you later.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.